Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have Noodles starting the key signing party. Thank you.
I am a poor replacement for Gunnar, who was supposed to be kicking this off, and I think has made it at least as far as Zurich and will hopefully be with us late this evening and certainly in time for tomorrow. So these are sort of last-minute slides. I'm going to try and cover out what is the important things. Don't judge me too harshly. I'm always conscious that people have differing opinions about crypto. I have mine, you have yours. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. Why do we do these events? I think it's important to understand what the purpose of getting together in a room and reading out a long string of hex digits together is, because it's a bit weird. We are a distributed project, right? Debian developers come from all over the world. When you come and want to be involved in the Debian project, we need some way of being sure we know who we're talking to, right? There is some identity that we can be sure we are talking to, and consistently over time it's the same person. Someone hasn't hacked your computer, someone isn't trying to impersonate you. And the way we do this is through strong crypto, and in particular, it may not be the best in the world, but it does give us a web of trust. That is GPG, OpenPGP, an open PGP implementation. Now, the nice thing that gives us over the standard X509 or web-based search you might be used to is, instead of it being a hierarchy where I sign you and you might sign someone else, we get a web where I can sign you and someone else, and they can sign you and me. So all you need is one introduction into that chain and you can get to everyone. And Debian is almost all well connected, such as if you can get to one Debian developer's key, you can probably get a path to some other key, every other key in the key ring, and be able to trust it. This is worth doing and coming to this event, and this is something I've been bad about. Even if you're already part of the Debian key ring, even if you're already doing this, it's worth coming to these events. A couple of reasons. Self-interest. If everyone else changes their keys and you haven't been signing keys with them, then all of a sudden your key is left isolated. And the other is, it helps get other people into the project, right? People who aren't yet part of Debian but come to DebConf, come and get their keys signed, so when down the line they decide they want to be part of the project, they've already got their key signed. And the last 2 years have been a real nightmare in terms of that, because people haven't been able to get their key signed, and we've had to come up with some other options about how people weren't stuck not being able to get into the project. So this is an important event to be at, and thank you all for attending. Please do engage and sign, even if not all the keys you're comfortable signing, and I'll get onto that. Gunnar has done a great set of breakdowns at that link. Hopefully this will work. So this, you can see, is a graph of people I have signed and people who have signed me, and then he's also done an actual text list of telling me who do I need to talk to, right? These are the keys that aren't connected to mine. These are the keys that have only signed me and I should really return the favor. These are the keys that are only signed by me and I should go and bug people to sign me back. The breakdown is on the email that Gunnar sent out. It does show, this shows just how complex our web of trust can be, right? This is a complicated graph. The bits in grey are the things, and that's sort of showing the signatures backwards and forwards. This being well connected is a good thing for the project. Coming to these events and signing keys is a good thing for the project, and it is an easy step you can do to help make things better and get yourself connected to the other keys. So that's my spiel about why we're all good people. What do you actually have to do? We're going to go through the checksum on the list to make sure that we've got the right information in front of us, but ultimately, throughout the course of the rest of this conference, you're going to go and find people on the list. You're going to go and talk to them and go, hey, did you check your fingerprint on this list matches what your fingerprint should be? And they're going to say yes. And then you're going to say, hey, did you go to the key signing event on Sunday, and did you make sure that the SHA of the list that you have matches the SHA that we all read out? And they're going to say yes. And then you're going to check their ID. That's up to you, right? This is a bit about proving identity. You need to be comfortable that you're talking to the person you think you're talking to. I can't tell you how to do that. There are people at this conference who, if they came up to me and they said, hey, I've got a new key, and gave me the fingerprint slip, I don't need to see government-issued ID because I have seen them over numerous DevConfs. There are people who I've spoken to before, but I can't quite remember, or I've never maybe seen official government ID, where I will ask to see a passport because I won't recognize any other ID from their country. Equally, I live in the UK. If someone comes up to me with a UK driving license, because I live there, because I know what that document looks like, I'm happy to accept a UK driving license as a proof of ID. What you're doing is validating identity. How you do that is up to you. Please do it to an appropriate level that you're comfortable with, that you're happy to stand over it and say, yes, I spoke to Jonathan McDowell and I believe that I was speaking to Jonathan McDowell. Have a chat, right? The other thing about this is you can use it as an excuse to go and talk to people who you wouldn't otherwise talk to. There are lots of interesting people in this project who are new or are from areas you haven't dealt with before, and they're here in this key signing and they're here all week, and we've all got the little blue strip with our fingerprint and everything. Go have a conversation with someone new, right? If they've said they'll turn up to this, they've signed up to this. They should be nice to you if you turn up and say, hey, let's talk keys. And that gives you an opener. Not a particularly interesting opener, but an opener. The other thing you got to do is make sure your key is somewhere we can get it. I know that Gunnar had some issues with finding some of the keys that were on the list. If your key is not on a public key server, the people who want to sign it won't be able to get it to sign it. The key server network is in a bit of a mess, and I think there's going to be some discussion about that later in the conference. Keyserver.ubuntu.com is generally reliable in our experience, and we know who to shake if it isn't. So if you have a key that's not in the Debian keyring already, the Debian infrastructure only takes keys it already knows about. If you've got a key that isn't there, upload it to that key server. If you need to find a key that you don't already have, try that key server first. Obviously, you can email the person and try and get the key directly from them, but it's much easier if you can do it via the key servers. Things to note. Don't sign a key you don't feel comfortable signing, and don't be offended if someone doesn't feel comfortable about signing your key. All this is a statement that says, I believe this key is owned by the person with this identity. Doesn't say they think you are a wonderful person, doesn't say they think you're a bad person, doesn't say they think you're great technically, doesn't say anything about you as an individual. It is purely assigning things. Different people have different key signing policies, and that's okay. And I want to make it clear that if you're in any way not comfortable with the information that is presented to you about the ownership of a key, you absolutely should not sign it. And equally, if someone turns around and says, I can't sign your key, I'm sorry, don't take it personally, right? That's not a judgment. I have a stricter key policy where I won't sign keys of people that I haven't spoken to before, right? Someone I haven't had some interaction with before, so that I have a little bit of a stronger thing about identity. And some of that's about talking to them over a course of a conference and seeing them in social situations with people who I trust to help me validate that they are who they're representing. But it's a little bit stricter than some people who are quite happy with government ID. Your level is fine. Don't feel bad about saying no. Don't feel bad if someone says no. There's no requirement, right? Equally, if you want to be lazy and you just want to go and find 5 people to sign and you sort of know those people, we'd rather you did more, but that's okay too, right? Anything is better than nothing. So, anyone got any questions? What we're going to do, and then has anyone got any questions? You have been asked to calculate the SHA-256 and the RIPE MD-160 sums of the document that Gunnar sent out. Now, let me get through this and then I'll take the question. The purpose for this is to ensure that we are all working off exactly the same copy of this document, right? This document is the document you will take back and use to validate fingerprints when you're signing keys. Therefore, it is important for us to ensure that we all have exactly the same set of fingerprints. If someone had modified my fingerprint on this document, or the document that you hold, and not on my copy, our checksums will differ, and therefore we will be able to work out that there is something bad going on and try and resolve what that bad thing might be. So that's why we're going to read out this checksum. That lets us validate we're all working from exactly the same set of fingerprints. Once we've done that, the conversation is you talk to each individual person and go, did you check your fingerprint and then you check the ID and make sure you're happy. And there are tick boxes for fingerprint OK and ID OK. Right.
Hello. Okay. What do you recommend doing after signing the key? How do you get the signed key where it needs to go?
So my personal preference is, based on having done this for some time, is CAF, which is part of Signing Party. And what CAF actually does is it takes the key that you have signed and encrypts the signature to the person and then emails it to them. So that gives the person, that provides a step where you have proved that that person actually controls the key as well. That email address controls the key. So there's an argument that says you can just upload it in the key server if you want. So you could just take the signed version and upload it. Generally using CAF from the Signing Party package, I think, is a better way to go about it, because that will then confirm that the email address can actually receive email. And in particular, if you've got a key that has multiple email addresses on it, and some of those are no longer active, it splits out the signature so that they go to each email address separately. So anything that's no longer active won't get your signature on it, which is a good thing. Does that answer your question? I think generally emailing keys back to the owner rather than uploading is a good thing. There's a bunch of discussion about privacy that the Web of Trust exposes, and various people don't upload their signatures anywhere, but like to have them and have them distributed. So in general, email back to the owner is, I think, preferred approach, and they can take the action to actually do the upload to the key server network. What I would like to do, if enough of us have already calculated the hash, is that we pass the mic through the room and we all read out a hex digit from the hash, and if anyone disagrees, they shout. Now, there needs to be enough of us that have calculated the hash in order to do this. Can I have a show of hands of people who actually have the hash in front of them right now, who would be able to do that? Okay, I think that's enough. Do we have a roving mic? Can we start with Steve? So we're going to start with the SHA-256 checksum. I'll do the first digit and hope I've calculated it right. I did do it twice just to make sure. I've got 3.
Echo.
And then you pass the mic to the next person. So pass the mic to the nearest person who hasn't said something who then has it.
9. Charlie.
Oh. If you don't have it, just pass it to the next person who does.
E.
Echo.
One.
Alpha.
D. 2.
Echo.
Alpha.
C.
Eight. Beta.
We had Delta, right?
Delta's next.
Delta.
3, 2, 4, 5.
Nice optimization.
Two E1.
1 delta.
7, 8.
to A5.
Echo Charlie 6 Charlie.
Has anyone got digits and not read them out? I'll just read out the ripe MD 161 once we finish SHA-256.
Foxtrot to 8 Echo.
Charlie Alpha 9-4.
5 Echo 6-2.
Eight Echo 9-6.
D1 E2.
2301.
0A0F.
Okay, so we can be reasonably confident that those of us who have read out digits are all reading from the same thing. We've got the same document. Hopefully you've been able to check this as you go along. Just for completeness, I'll read out the ripe MD 160. 3, 5, 7 Alpha, 6 Bravo Foxtrot 0, 5 Foxtrot 0, 1, 9 Foxtrot Bravo 7, Foxtrot 6, 2, 9, Echo Charlie Delta 1, 1 Foxtrot 7 Alpha, 7, 4 Charlie 4, 9 Charlie 9, 4, 4, 0, 2 Echo. No one complained, so I'm assuming you've all got something similar. Just for completeness on the video, this is what we've got. At this point, we're confident that we're all working from the same document and no one seems to have it modified. Anyone you talk to should have validated this hash and made sure that they've got what we want. We have 13 minutes left of this session, or actually only 3, I think, and then they want to wrap up. But go talk to people, check IDs, confirm people have updated fingerprints, go home, sign keys, send them out to people, enjoy a better connected web of things. If you're interested in PGP in general, there's bits from the Debian keyring maintainers tomorrow morning, and there are at least a couple of other open PGP and sort of crypto-related talks going on during the conference. So by all means, come have conversations about what's actually going on under the hood if you want to. For now, just get the Web of Trust improved. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, thanks Noodles, and thanks everyone for participating. Thank you.